Hey, what's up guys? John here. Property insurance is about to double, I believe, nationally. And I think there's going to be a massive, massive problem on the back of a lot of other problems such as high utility bills, record high inflation. I mean, CNBC, they just said the Fed wants inflation at 2%, but the economy might be fine with higher inflation. Well, it's because they can't bring inflation to 2%. It's quite obvious. How can you bring inflation to 2% if the cost of energy is skyrocketing? Think about it. Farmers, business owners, when they're shipping and distributing their products to stores and to the consumer, if it costs more to get there, the costs are going to have to go somewhere, and it's going to be paid by the consumer unless labor costs and the actual cost of manufacturing is going down, which is not happening. And this brings me to insurance, which is going to be a huge issue nobody's talking about. Please hit the like button. Hit the like button. YouTube's going to share the content. But this insurance problem is so big. It is so huge. If you look at just what happened over the last 3 weeks, Ohio, train derailment, South Carolina, train derailment, Texas, train derailment, Michigan, train derailment, the Florida fires, all these situations are so much bigger than what people are talking about. If you look at a location like Ohio, the Ohio River, it feeds all of these properties. Now, what's going to happen with these property owners? They're going to try to file claims. They're going to try to, get reimbursed somehow, some way. And where are they going to get those reimbursements? Likely from their insurance company. And what is an insurance company likely going to do? Absorb the losses and spread them out across national policies. That's what I believe is very likely going to happen. This is so big because a lot of people think, okay, and this also adds to the inflation problem. If the cost of materials, if they're saying the cost of materials, cost of labor, everything is going to continue or maybe even go higher, how can insurance rates go anything but north, right? Look at this. Right here, in 2022, homeowners in every part of the country saw their insurance rate go up by hundreds, even thousands of dollars. In fact, home insurance premiums were up an average of 12.1% last year, according to Policy Genius, right? 12.1%. in just the last 12 months. Now, that being said, I do believe it's going to be an incredible moment to invest in real estate. We break everything down. I'm going to talk a little bit more about what I believe is going to happen in the real estate market, but you're going to need good credit. You're going to need cash in the bank. You're going to need a strategy. You have to know what to do and where to invest. And if you need help fixing your credit, we'd love to help you at GreatCreditFast.com. That's GreatCreditFast.com. Give us a call now at 561-430-5900 for a free consultation. So we look at Florida, for example. Now, I'm in Florida. A lot of people like to make Florida as the example of saying Florida is the only place with insurance problems. But Florida property and reinsurance rates expected to jump 40 to 50% in June. 40 to 50%. Sunshine State, home to more than 22 million people, has an affordability problem when it comes to housing, not just for buying a home or finding a place to rent. Protecting your home can also be expensive, right? John Rollins, he's a former chief financial officer and chief risk officer of several Florida property insurance companies, right? Rollins said the past 4 years policy rates have gone up by 50%, which makes sense if it's 12% a year, 12% times 4, you're basically 48%, you're basically there, right? For Floridians, and that's the average. And the rate increases aren't stopping. He said the industry, as well as various state officials, are expecting reinsurance costs to go up between 40 and 50% in June. 40 to 50% in June. Now, at the same time, granted, a lot of people over the last few years have locked in really low interest rates, 2.5%, 3%, 3.5%. They don't want to let go of those mortgages. I mean, who would? It's like free money. But if you're going to refinance because you don't have the money to make do for the cost of living, record high utility bills, insurance rates, everything's going up, you're going to have to refinance at a much, much, much higher rate. A lot of people, they might not qualify for that higher rate. They might have to sell that property. And that's what I think is likely going to start happening. I think we're going to start seeing a lot of people walk away from their properties. And I think we're going to see a lot of insurance companies going out of business. They're talking about this right now. This is United Property Insurance. I brought them up right here. Florida Property Insurance Company insolvent after losses caused by Hurricane Ian. And as of right now, Americans are saving the least amount of money since 2005 because they turned the money printer off. You got 16 million homes that are vacant, which is crazy because Florida as a whole has 1.6 million vacant homes. So if you look at what's happening, you have 16 million vacant homes in America. You have a lot of retirees that thought they had their retirement tucked away, everything was fine, and they got hit with all of these curveballs, the expensive cost of living. They are likely going to start renting out their properties. They're probably not going to want to sell if they have the option. And the reason for it is because they're going to sell for a lower valuation, and that money's not going to go as far. So what are they going to try to do? They're going to try to list it for rent. You're going to see a lot of property owners also start taking in roommates, renting out rooms in their houses, just trying to bring in extra money. We're going to start to see a lot of inventory start to hit the market for rent and for sale, I believe, as this economy starts to really contract. The average cost for a Florida insurance is $2,122 per year, or about $177 a month. So they're saying it's going to go from basically $177 to $250 to $300 a month, right? That is substantial. And this Ohio situation is so much bigger than people are realizing. Beginning in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the Ohio is formed by the confluence of the Allegheny and the Monongahela River, and it ends 900, basically 1,000 miles at Cario, Illinois, when it empties into the Mississippi. So it goes from right here, Ohio, and then it comes all the way down here, empties into the Mississippi. What's wild, though, is that it feeds 250,000 farms. This type of agricultural runoff is common, and it creates a serious pollution load. There are more than 250,000 farms in Ohio River watershed, which is part of the larger Mississippi River Basin. And so if you have all these farms and all these properties that are going to be assuming water from a polluted potentially, polluted river basin, then their farms become much less valuable, right? Many of them might not even be able to produce food. You're not really sure. I'm not sure. Only time will tell what happens there. But if that does in fact happen, what happens to the value of those properties, right? If they can't make money on the land, then I guess time will tell, right? But I'm betting that of those 250,000 farms, you're going to see a good chunk of them starting to file claims. No doubt about it. Cincinnati to close Ohio River intake to prevent any contamination. And then, I mean, like I mentioned before, you have all these situations, traffic impacted. This just happened yesterday in Amarillo, another train derailment, right? This happened again. This is the second train derailment. This happened on the 14th, so 2 in Texas. Then you have this in Kissimmee, which is about 30 minutes from Miami. This is a very, very big problem. Fire extinguished overnight in Braintree, right? You have all these different situations. Another one, this just happened 15 hours ago in Ohio, a metal factory. As the utility bills are starting to creep up, it's just so clear that we're going to be stepping into a situation where it's going to be much, much more affordable for most Americans to rent an apartment than it will be to own a home. If you rent an apartment, you're going to be able to bring your costs down dramatically. And that is exactly what I believe is going to happen. We're going to start seeing a lot of people saying, you know what, I love this home, but I simply can't afford it. I need to go do something that is a little bit more affordable, right? And that's why I believe, you just simply look at it. If you borrow, let's say you buy a $400,000 house. If you borrow 80%, you put 20% down, you put $80,000 down. That's a lot of money. $80,000 down, you borrow, that $320,000. You're still probably paying $2,500 a month. $2,500 plus utilities, plus maintenance, plus upkeep, plus property insurance. I mean, you might be all in $3,000, $3,000, and you spend $80,000 to get into the deal to pay $3,000 a month. How many people can do that? That basically you have to make $9,000 to $10,000 a month to be able to afford that. So a lot of people aren't going to do that. What are they going to do? They're going to go rent an apartment for $1,500, $1,600. That's what I think is going to happen. You start seeing a lot of people in the entry-level market start renting, and there's going to be a lot more demand for rentals than there will be. There will be available purchasers for a lot of these properties as the market starts to really go through a shift, which I think is an incredible opportunity. For I always try to see the optimist, the optimist point of view. A lot of people before would say, "Oh, he's fearmonger, selling fear." I'm just looking at the facts. The facts are saying that we're stepping into a situation in which we're in the greatest rug pull of all time. So when that happens, you want to be positioned with great credit, money in the bank, good strategy. You want to have a well-diversified portfolio. You want to be able to move with the times. People can't see the writing on the wall by now. I don't know what to say. The writing on the wall is that something big is going to be happening very, very soon. You want to be prepared for it. And so I think there's going to be big opportunities to invest in real estate, but you just have to be prepared for that. You really have to be prepared for that. You have to know where to invest. I think right now, if you're renting, the ideal type of situation could be buying a 2 to 4 unit property when values start to plummet. I mean, small mom and pop business owners own 20,500,000 rental units. 20,500,000 rental units. And a lot of those business owners are in big trouble. Over 40% of small businesses missed November's rent. Think about it, when rates are increasing, the cost to borrow money and service debt is only getting more expensive. Credit card debt's almost at $1 trillion. Everything is indicating to an affordability crisis in which people are going to be downsizing. This is where you want to be positioned well. That's why over the last year or so, I haven't been really investing much in real estate. I was more of a seller than a buyer. I barely bought anything. And so this is what I'm saying. Big opportunities, I believe, are going to be presenting themselves over the next 12 to 24 months. This is the moment to prepare for it. If you need help fixing your credit, we'd love to help you. We'd love to help you position for that at GreatCreditFast.com. You can give us a call at 561-430-5900. What do you think about this situation? Hit the like button, subscribe here, and subscribe on my second channel. It's an interactive call-in show and a podcast. Also LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You can click the hyperlinks in the bio. I'm posting a lot more on Twitter, so be sure to follow me over there. Catch you guys in the next video.